Okay, today let's talk about attacking the zone. Now, we're going to show you a bunch of principles when you're looking at your playbook or trying to learn other options for good attacking plays. You want to know the principle behind those and why they work. So if you watch a bunch of college basketball, you'll see a bunch of these principles in action with their sets and with their plays and what they're trying to do. So let's go to the whiteboard. Principle number one, beating zone defense. So this first principle is attacking the offense in fast break. Basically, the idea is beating the offense down the court in order to find a weakness. And so here, this defender may have shot the ball, maybe shot it in the corner, whatever. And here we are on offense. And we're coming down here, is trying to get the ball to the weak area, because this defender is still trying to get back. Having your players recognize where they can attack and what areas the defenders are trying to get back to. It might be the middle guy, might be this guy, might be this guy, but trying to get the ball moved and around to an area, and so that you can pass or drive or shoot. Okay, next is overload the zone. So the idea with overloading the zone is we're trying to get more players in an area than there are defenders. We're trying to get one player to guard two people. We're trying to get two people to guard three people. If we go here, we can overload the zone. So we can bring more people to one side than there are defenders. So right here we have 1, 2, 3. But if he slides over, then we're matched up. But if we bring this guy in, now all of a sudden we have 1, 2, 3, 4 players with 3 defenders trying to guard. And it shifts the zone a lot more, and you can do some counterattacks on the other side too. The idea here is obviously to get a defender having to make a decision, and if we can get one of these guys with the ball, even better. If we can get him to have someone guard him and kick, and you can still get the ball reversed just by knowing when the ball starts getting passed. If he doesn't get the ball immediately, he can flash back and circle back out. We can still get the ball reversed on a dribble. He can go back, he can flash up. So you can do a lot of different things, but the idea is to get the zone overloaded. Reversing the ball. This is key, super fundamental, but it's key. Oftentimes, zone's really good at keeping the ball on one side. Pass here, they want it to go back and forth. It's super easy for them to defend if they can just keep the ball on one side. Any defense wants the ball to stay on one side. Trick here is getting the ball from one side to the first side to the second side. And now the defense has to rotate. There's movement. They have to close out. They're shifting. Now all of a sudden, as they're shifting, that's when you're going to have passing lanes available, driving lanes available. So as he's coming, shifting, closing out, that's when we can drive. That's when we can pass to an area and catching the defense in between their areas. So reversing the ball, and usually it takes 3 or 4 times. The quicker the passes, the better. You can reverse the ball, whether it's a pass and a pass, whether it's a skip, whether it's a pass here in the middle, then a reverse there. Any type of ball reversal, again, is just going to cause the defense to shift, and then you can attack. Let's talk about attacking the gaps. So this principle is attacking the gaps. So in the defense, in any zone defense, depending on what zone it is, there's going to be gaps, right? So there's a gap, there's a gap, there's a gap. Some consider sidelines a small gap. If the ball's here, the idea here is to attack the gaps and try to get 2 people guarding 1. Because if 2 people are guarding 1, that means someone else is open. So they're attacking here, in between, getting this guy to suck in, this guy to suck in. Then maybe it's a pass down to a guy on the block. Maybe it's a kick out to a guy out in the corner, but you get the idea. So, and it's much more effective to attack the gaps instead of just coming down and attacking, getting the ball reversed and then attacking, because now all of a sudden the gaps become a little bit bigger and the openings, the passing lanes become a little bit bigger when the defense is shifting. So attack those gaps. Okay, we'll switch to a 1-3-1 zone on this one, but the principle's the same, getting offensive rebounds. So a lot of times as a coach, one of the reasons not to play zone is it can become difficult to rebound. For instance, in this situation, so we're overloading the zone a little bit. After a few passes, let's just say the shot's taken from here, and there's a shot. So positioning-wise, this defender should drop. But if you notice in this scenario, this guy's probably going to take him because he's close on a shot. But if you see this scenario, this backside guy actually has two guys to block out. If we can attack two guys in against one, and getting some rebounds and getting second chances is huge in any offense, but especially against the zone, because then it's scramble mode and we can score, we can kick out. One of the best threes you'll get is when you kick out from an offensive rebound. Offensive rebound against the zone and attacking the glasses is one way to attack it. So let's go to a 2-3. Now in this 2-3 shot here, X5 slid over to guard X in the post. He's probably fronting him a little bit. And this guy slid over and he's on him, but there's still a shot. X4 can block out 4, but if X3 is able to get in here and read that early enough, you have 2-on-3 on the opposite side. Okay, we're going to talk about screening the zone. A lot of times offenses can get passive. They can just rely on passing, cutting against the zone, and they forget that screening the zone is going to be as important as when you're playing, the other team's playing man-to-man. So screening the zone. So first screen, and you could set up a lot of different ways. So ball's here, and the idea here is we want to get someone on the backside screen for a skip. So it could be right here, him passing, cutting through, sealing this guy so we can skip and seal this guy in from getting out. So you got to know where these guys typically cover, and you don't want to kind of do it in an area where both guys can cover. You want to do it in an area where one person is. So on that scenario, that's a skip right there for number 1. We can skip it across. The other screen we could do, getting the ball reversed. And then as these defensive players get moving in position, we get the ball reversed back, and we're trying to loop out here and getting this X3, for instance, pinned in here, and he gets a little bit lower for that skip pass back out. So getting these guys pinned right here and right here for a 3, or getting these guys pinned in here and in here. Okay, post screens. So we want to pick on these low guys down here in the post areas to try to get buckets down in here. So a simple cross screen, and sometimes we can make this look like a post up when in fact it's not. Sneak in here behind him as he goes out. You might even dribble down a little bit, get this guy engaged, get this guy to come out. Okay, then we can enter it right there. So the guy is screening this middle guy. You do both sides, both players taking turns. The ball's here. He could screen. Number 4 could do it. The ball's over here. He becomes a screener, and number 5 becomes the guy sneaking under. We could screen the low guy and enter from the top. So ball's here. We pass back up to 1. 4 gets down in here and screens. And we could loop in there. Next principle. Don't forget to play offense against one person, similar to man-on-man. So what I mean by that is sometimes we look at a zone and you feel like you have to beat all of them. In reality, if you can pick on one player, let's say X4 is not a great defender, and he's out here let's see if we can get him a little bit more isolated and attacking this guy, similar to how you would attack someone just guarding you directly. So we're trying to get by this guy to have a help situation. Pop in there, you can slide underneath for passes. These guys can have to suck in. Maybe a skip pass is needed, or maybe it's this guy up here, this X2 is not a good defender. So how can we try to attack this guy and have everyone else help, and therefore we can kick to shooters, we can kick down, but getting by one guy is going to help your offense get better looks. So don't forget to attack that person that's quote unquote guarding you in that area. This principle is attacking the zone, surprise attack from behind. So having a guy, this number 4, being able to attack from behind, so the defensive player has a tough time seeing what's going on behind him. So zones have a tough time seeing what's going on behind them. And so sometimes we can get in a situation where this guy, because he's behind, he can slip this way or that way to attack. Even better, the ball going in here to 5 and him slipping in down here for the lob. Them not knowing it, and he's looped over here, and this X5 guy not even communicating. This guy may be distracted out here with a shooter and getting the ball in here. So 5, 4, ball going here, and him sliding in behind and attacking from behind the zone. So that's a good principle, getting in this area to attack. So the zone can't see, you might be able to even come set a screen from behind the zone. The ball is, you drive the ball, he screens, he loops, and you got a layup right there. So attacking from behind is a good principle.